Hi, I'm Elaine from the Pulaski County Public Library, and we're talking with JoLynn Behny, our clerk for Pulaski County. And this is the last of our three-part series on questions that people may have about voting. We hope we're covering everything that you might have on your minds. Thank you again, JoLynn, for joining us.
Thank you again, Elaine, for doing that.
So today we're going to be talking about how to vote on election day. So when is the general election?
It is Tuesday, November 3rd.
Okay. And what hours will the polls be open?
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Will there be is that Saturday hours also, or oh, that's just general election? Never mind.
That's just election day. Yeah, election day. Early in-person voting will be 8 to 4, and then the Saturdays will be 8 to noon.
Okay. Where can I vote on election day?
Pulaski County is a vote center county, which means we don't do precincts anymore. We have vote centers, and we have vote centers located in each of the towns. Star City Community Building, the Maryville Christian Church Annex, Monterey Town Hall, Francisville Fire Department, and for the Winamac area, it is the Pulaski County Highway Garage. However, you can vote at any of the polling sites on election day. You don't have to be a resident within a certain area to utilize any of those vote centers. You can vote at any one of them.
Okay. Will there be a list of those somewhere? Those vote centers?
Yeah, I have a list all typed up. Yeah, I've given it to the local media. There is a list on the state's website. Yeah, those locations are going to be heavily publicized.
Okay. Do I need an ID to vote?
Yes, ma'am. You need Indiana driver's license or a military ID, state ID. Apparently a passport does work. You need any kind of photo ID issued by a local or federal government.
Okay. Do I need to bring anything else with me to vote?
No, just have in mind who you want to vote for.
Okay. Is there anything I can't bring with me to the polling place?
Yeah, you cannot bring any campaign materials with you into the polling place. And I would probably not bring any deadly weapons either.
Okay.
It's a contentious enough election. We don't need to throw any gas on that fire.
That is true. Can you tell me what a provisional ballot is and when one might be needed?
Okay, so let's say that you applied to vote by mail. So the state's website that we use will say that you have applied to vote by mail and we have mailed you that ballot. So you need to surrender that ballot to the polling location on election day. Well, maybe you threw it away, you just don't have it. In that case, you would fill out a provisional ballot, probably knowing that it's not going to count. The election board will determine that on election day after the polls close about the provisional ballots. If you have moved and don't have proof of your new address, or you've been canceled for some reason or another and you did not register to vote in time, you can fill out a provisional ballot. That's just saying that, yes, I'm making a point of casting my vote, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's up to the election board to decide whether to honor it or not.
Okay. Is there a handicap accessible polling place in Pulaski County?
Okay, so when the prior clerk and election board put together the polling locations part of that, determining what the polling locations were going to be, was that they were all ADA compliant. So early voting centers are ADA compliant and all 5 polling locations on election day are ADA compliant.
Okay, good. If an individual requires assistance at the polling place, can they designate someone to help? Or is there someone on site to assist?
Yeah, they can use one of the local poll workers. They have to fill out, there's a form that they have to fill out and sign, but it's an affidavit, but we'll have those at the polling places. So yes.
Okay.
There's equipment available at each polling place for people with hearing disabilities.
Okay, that's good to know. Can a person who has previously been incarcerated, is on parole, probation, home detention, or work release vote?
If you've been convicted of a felony in the past, you cannot vote. The Sheriff's Department gives quarterly reports to the clerk's office of people who have been incarcerated who are no longer eligible to vote, and they are disenfranchised.
Okay. What precautions are being taken to prevent the spread of COVID-19 at the polling places?
The Secretary of State's office has been very generous with PPE. We got a shipment in the spring with hand sanitizer and gloves and surface cleaner, microfiber towels, face masks, lots of face masks. They are sending another shipment in the next 2 weeks, which is great because we have enough to cover the next 5 elections the way it is, but that's okay. That's all right. They just want to make sure that the poll workers and the voters are protected if they do choose to come out and vote in person.
Okay. Is a face mask required to vote?
Under the governor's order, whatever is in place on November 3rd, we need to honor the governor's order. As of right now, we did not require it in the primary. And then unless there's something set in stone by the state or the Secretary of State's office, we will probably not turn away a voter for not wearing a face mask.
Okay. I know this is a presidential election. Are there other candidates for other offices on the ballot?
Yeah, it's a pretty full ballot. We have the governor and the attorney general and senators, representatives. We have several local contested races, auditor, treasurer, recorder, although I apologize, treasurer isn't contested. We have 3 county council seats. We have 2 county commissioner seats. We have a lot of election board candidates, and the town of Winnemac and the town of Madairyville have their local elections as well.
Where can I find a list of these people that are listed on the ballot?
There will be a legal publication in the local newspapers closer to the election. And if you want to call and request a sample ballot, we are more than happy to provide one for you. I can email it or mail it, or you can come by and pick one up. I can put one on the Pulaski County Clerk's Facebook page, easy access. You don't have to be around people if you don't want to. You can just get on social media and check it out. So we'll be doing that later today or tomorrow.
Okay, so there are lots of candidates on the ballot. Are there public questions or anything else on the ballot too?
No public questions, just judicial retention questions, like
Okay.
there are sometimes.
Do I have to choose someone for every office on the ballot?
No, and that's a great question to ask. People don't understand that. If you don't know who you want to vote for a certain office, you do not have to cast a vote. If you don't like the candidates for a certain office, you don't have to cast a vote for that office. Your vote will still count.
Okay, good. So I know you have voting machines set up to show. Would you like to show us how those work?
Sure. I'll move my handy dandy little cell phone here. So we have here, it's a poll pad. This is a poll pad that we use. And what you will do if you want to vote in person, you'll come up, they'll ask you for your photo ID and you'll put it there. And the poll pad will scan it and it'll bring your voter information up from the Indiana State Voter Registration site. And it will say whether or not you are eligible to vote, or if you've asked for an absentee ballot, or if you've received an absentee ballot. And like I said earlier, if that's the case, you have to surrender that ballot at the polling place in order to vote in person. So then you will be led to the voting machine. And this is a mock-up, just something funny, and it was actually used for the primary. So you will be led to the machine and you will choose the corresponding arrows with the candidate that you want. You get to the next page and you'll cast your vote. And when you're done, you'll hit that red button. And then
that's all there is to it? Sounds simple enough.
That's all there is to it. Yes.
All right.
Trying to make everything as simple as possible.
you know, any more, that's what you need. Is there anything that you'd like to add about anything we've talked about today?
Just make sure if you're not registered or you have a question about your registration, get a hold of us or get online soon and get it straightened out before. You don't want to show up at the polls on election day and find out that your registration has been canceled for any reason. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact the clerk's office. We'll do our best to walk you through it. If you have questions about voting in person, voting by mail, voting by travel board, give us a call and we will do our best to get you taken care of. We want to make sure your vote is counted and it's safe and it's secure and it's accurate.
And the number for the clerk's office is?
574-946-3313.
Okay. And so again, make sure that you are registered to vote. You can call the clerk's office to check that. Is that correct? Or
Yes.
You can check online?
At indianavoters.in.gov.
All right, great. JoLynn, you've been a great help. You've had a lot of good answers for us. We really appreciate you taking this time with us. This was the last of our three-part session. We hope that it helped you out and that we covered everything. If you do have any other questions, give the clerk's office a call and they can either answer the question or steer you in the right direction. Thanks
Absolutely.
again, JoLynn.
Thanks, Elaine. Thank you guys for taking the time to do this. It's really appreciated.
Thank you.